We are in the midst of festival season, so who better to chat with than Louisiana's Ambassador, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, who is here. We're going to check in, give us an update on all the fabulous events going on, and also where we're at with funding. We are also at the start of our regular legislative session, which means it's time to talk budget and funding. Lots to talk about and unpack, but let's start with the topic of the budget. Going into this 2025 legislative session, how is the budget looking for the Louisiana Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism?
Well, you know, we get a percentage of the sales tax. And with some of the changes the governors make, we just got to go request the same allotment of that money every year instead of it being automatic. And we're always concerned because tourists don't vote. We operate state parks with about a third of the employees that it once had, and yet we had our first 2 million visitor year ever. So we have more visitors than ever, doing more with less.
The governor did issue a hiring freeze at the executive level. What does that mean to the Department of?
Well, it concerns us. You know, we probably have some of the lowest paying jobs in state government. And so we have some turnover in our state parks, our museums, and we need to be able to replace those people quickly. Now we've got to go get permission. I feel comfortable the governor will grant us permission to fill those jobs because, like I said, we run a very lean, all of our departments. Have
you seen any federal funding loss at the Department of Tourism?
Well, initially they cut out all the AmeriCorps volunteer Louisiana funding, which is a little over $8 million. And that gets great value all across. Before, during, and after a hurricane or any disaster, year-round we're doing training to prepare for those disasters. Over 10,000 volunteers in that network working for Louisiana. So that would be devastating. They reinstated it temporarily. We don't know if it's going to last, but for the moment it's okay. A lot of the library money is federal grants. That if that goes away, those programs will disappear. So we're monitoring, watching it to see how it really affects Louisiana.
As the brand ambassador for Louisiana, are you experiencing any apprehension or concern or pushback internationally when it comes to tourism?
It's the feedback I've got, all the Canadians that just don't like Americans right now, and we're paying the price for that.
Because of President Trump's tariffs and trade wars.
You know, it could have been handled a lot differently. I hope it gets fixed quickly because damaging that reputation is hard to repair, and the longer this goes on, the harder it is to fix it.
What percentage of our tourism market does the Canadian market represent?
It was about 40% of our international market, and I think it's still pretty high up there.
Okay. So that's a pretty big hit.
It is a big hit. And they stay longer and spend more money than the American visitors.
We just wrapped up French Quarter Fest. We are anticipating Jazz Fest. Hit the highlights, and what are your expectations?
So, there's 400 fairs and festivals. If you can eat it, drink it, shoot it, dance it, we name a festival after. That's a tool in our toolbox that most states would love to have to move people all over the state. The Duck Fest, Strawberry, the Alligator Fest. On any given weekend, there's something incredibly unique to do in any corner of the state, and that's a great asset for us. It's great for the local people, but the people that come from all over that experience these unique fairs and festivals gives us, like I said, a tool that no other state has.
Well, speaking of celebrations, July 4th, 2026, America celebrates its 250th birthday, and Louisiana is planning to be a big part of that. Where are we at in that planning phase?
Now, we kicked off, General Lafayette gave a reenactment. He's been traveling all over the country, gave a great speech right there in Jackson Square. We were able to go up on the balcony and open the doors where he spoke from. He actually lived in the Cabildo for 5 days back then. But he gave a great inspired speech about bringing America together that hopefully, you know, he's carrying that message all over the country. Great way to kick it off. But we'll be coming out with many events all over the state that will highlight all the great things, Louisiana history, and the great history of America. So we're excited about it. It gives us a chance to highlight those incredible moments throughout our history.
All right. Well, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, any final news you want to share before we go?
Yeah, I've got to thank our employees in the state. When I took office, I was told we'd have to close 7 state parks. They were in bad shape. We didn't have the money to keep them open. Not only did they all stay open, thanks to the legislature allowing me to do the private-public partnership, we have 7 making a profit today. And through our private-public partnership, we're looking for entrepreneurs in Louisiana that want to build cabins. You want to build an RV lazy river. We're looking at a resort conference center at a few of our parks. I see a day when we won't need any tax dollars to run our parks. We are now the #2 mountain bike trail in the country at Boca Chica State Park. On any given month, we see over 1,000 people from 10 or 15 states coming to ride those trails.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for stopping by LPP Studios to talk funding, to talk festivals, and just to give us an update on what's happening at the Louisiana Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. Always a pleasure.
It's always great to be with you. Y'all do so much good and getting so many good things out in the community. Thank you for what you do.